Hey guys, welcome to our silent studio here at New York City Guitar School. Really fun, cool space here that I think will give anybody who wants to jam a really great experience. So come on with me, I'll show you how this place works and what you'll want to know before you get started here. Come on. Very first thing you want to do is you want to come over here. There are two power strips that are going to power a bunch of things in this room. The first most important one is this one down here, so just make sure that the power is turned on. You'll see some of the indicator lights go as well. That's powering this over here as well as a pod. This will be very important. There's also another power strip over here that is going to power some of the pods, the bass and guitar too. So make sure that both of those are turned on. Now, as I said before, the other important thing, actually the most important thing, is this over here. So what we have in this box is the digital mixer, and this is what all the instruments are going to be running into. Now, from there, that signal is going to go into this iPad over here. Now, you might come in here and see this particular window. You might also, if you're the first one in, see that it'll ask for a password. If it asks for a password, you just put in the word guitar with a capital G. You go ahead and take the stylus out of here, go ahead, swipe, and first thing you want to do is go into settings. So there's the settings over down there. Now, it's going to naturally be connected to our school's Wi-Fi here, which is located here. But in order for this iPad to talk to this mixer, it has to be selected here to Silent Studio. So go ahead, take that stylus and make sure that that's selected. Now that that's selected, we'll go ahead and we will hit CQ, which is the MixPad app. And this is what allows us to talk with this. Great, and this is what you want to have selected, CQ20B _ 9353. And with that selected there, we're gonna go down here to connect. Now that it's connected, boom, we have these windows here. A lot of information on here. A lot of this has already been configured for you guys though. So where you wanna be is right here, fader in this. And you wanna make sure that custom is selected over here, the word custom. You might find yourself in other windows like this off to the side, but make sure that custom right here is that's the one that's selected over here. Hold on. There we go, over here, custom. You're gonna see that these are color coordinated. So you have guitar 1, guitar 2, bass, drums, and then you have 2 mic inputs as well. So from here, this is where you're gonna select your levels, and it works just like a fader would on a regular mixing board. So you'll just take the stylus and you'll move this up and down in order to select that. Now, this will particularly come into play when you actually have your headphones on, which we're gonna do in just a moment. But this is what you're gonna be using in order to dial in the mix for everybody. And the other thing that's important to know is that there is a main volume over here, but just be careful with this because there are a couple, or there are several ways to affect volume in this. Obviously the fader's over here, this as well, but then each individual person is gonna have their own receiver that has volume as well. So this is the main area where you're gonna see here, guitar 1, guitar 2, bass, drums, and then the 2 microphones if you want them. So you would just move these up and down once you have your headphones and your receivers going in order to get the mix that you want. Cool, so you have your mixer all set up over there. You can see how to work the levels. Now you want to get your receivers and you want to get your headphones. So the first thing that you want to do is come over here. There is going to be a container of wipes over here that's provided. I would just select whatever headphone you want or is available and just give it a quick little wipe down with one of the wipes. And then what you're going to do is you're going to grab the receiver that is connected to the headset. So this one over here is connected to this top one. You'll also see here that this headset is actually plugged into a USB cable. So just unplug that and just set that right back in here. So your headphones and your receiver. The next thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to turn on the receiver. The receiver has an on switch right here, right by where the headphone jack is. And once that's turned on, you're going to see a little green light here. This means that it's ready to pair with the transmitter. and it's naturally set to channel 1. And channel 1 is actually the channel coming from the mixer that's going to give you the full mix of instruments. So all the instruments that are plugged in are going to go through, so you'll hear everybody there. So if you're playing guitar 1, you can solo yourself by selecting channel 2. So go ahead and just give the black button in the center a quick tap to channel 2. And if you want to make your way back to channel 1, just continue clicking. Give it a little quick tap like that to make your way back to channel 1. If you are playing guitar 2, you can solo yourself by selecting channel 3. If you're playing bass and you want to solo yourself, you can select channel 4. If you are playing the drums, there is a separate headphone that is connected over there that you can use for yourself. But again, just keep clicking to make your way back to channel 1. Here, just to the left, this is your volume control. I would say probably put it right about here so you have a little bit of headroom to go over that, but if you turn it all the way counterclockwise, you'll basically get no sound, you mute yourself. And if you turn it clockwise, that's maxed out. And you'll take this receiver and you're just gonna clip it to, you can either use your pocket or like a belt loop or something like that. But you go ahead, there's a nice little clip back here, and voila, you've got it selected. Headphones on, and you are ready to rock. You're behind the drum set, you're ready to rock. Here's the first thing you want to do, turn on the electronic drums. Right below the word V drums, you will see a power button. So go ahead, hit that, turn it on. It takes about, 6-7 seconds to turn on. Once you see here in the display that it says drum kit and that this light is turned on, the kit light is turned on, you're ready to make sound. This is coming out of an amplifier, but it will be going through headphones, either connected to your receiver or headphones connected over here when you're actually in the room playing. So if you just want to solo yourself, and just hear yourself and nobody else, there will be a set of headphones connected just to the drums that you can use. But if you want to hear yourself with everybody else, that's when you would want to go to your receiver and make sure that it's selected to channel 1 and put your headphones on, and you can play to your heart's content. If you ever need to adjust anything on the electronic drums as well, there is a drum key that you'll find in the stick bag, which is just right here in the corner. There are also some really handy kind of knobs over here that you can select, and they're kind of black ones that you can turn. So you'll see here that you can kind of tighten or loosen at a number of different joints here to turn the drums to your specifications. Yeah, drum set's pretty cool, ready to rock. Cool.
Rolling.
Okay, awesome. Cool. Now, if you're playing guitar 1 or guitar 2, they work the same way. You're just going to take the guitar off the wall, and it will either be plugged already right into the pot over here, or if you have your own guitar, you can take the input over here, the 1/4-inch cable, and just plug it in. Now, we'll make a few quick notes here about how this pod works. This thing is super cool. It's like this digital effects processor that's pretty nifty. For now, it's plugged into an amplifier, but you'd be hearing this through your headphones or soloed. Essentially, what you want to make sure is that it's on, and it will be lightly illuminated when it's off, but fully illuminated when it's on. I always like to start with all of these knobs turned all the way to the left. That kind of kills whatever effect is over here. And I always like to also start with clean. So there's a knob kind of in the center here. And this is for some amp presets. This one, this is a clean amp over here. But if you dial through, you'll hear that these sounds they sound a little different. Bit of drive over here. Ooh, a lot more drive. Crunch. And a bunch of other things here. There's heavy and lead and whatnot. If you want. But yes, I always say keep it clean for now. And then there are other effects over here. So there's distortion. And all you gotta do is lightly turn this knob a little bit, and then if you keep turning, it will shift over to the next digital effect. So there's boost, overdrive, and fuzz and whatnot. So you just kind of dial this in and see what you like. Ooh, this is fuzz. This is like a... So you get a really nice effect out of that if you want. Again, turn the knob all the way to left to turn things off. There's also some like chorus effects over here. This sounds kind of neat. Like that, there's a flanger here, so got a kind of neat sound there. Then there's tremolo as well, and a phaser. If you want to adjust the rate at which the tremolo moves, there's a little tap button over here, like that. And I think the further you go with the tremolo, the deeper it sounds. So if you dial it back a little bit, yeah, it's not quite as deep, so that's kind of nice. Again, all the way to the left to turn it off. Then there's reverb down here. This is also pretty cool. That's spring. This is like a hall reverb. This here is plates. This one's like a little more echoey. And then there's this one, space. So they got a lot of things here. And then delay, this is always a favorite over here. There's analog, there's digital, and this is one that I always really like. If you want to tap in your tempo for this, something like this, you know, you can get that kind of effect. You can also, if you want to do something like this, it kind of like, get all those great U2 sounds if you want, and whatnot. But again, you can turn it all the way off here to kill that. So yeah, that's the pod. Great, so you're jamming, you also want to be able to sing. We got you covered. There are two microphones over here. There's one that's connected to a 25-foot cable and another that's a 15-foot cable. The 15-foot cable is going to have this yellow tape on it, and the 25-foot one doesn't. So you can just remove them by lifting them up and out of the stand over here. If you go to the mixer, you'll see that there's actually, they're labeled mic 15 and mic 25. And you just take the stylus and you can adjust them up and down like you would any other instrument. If you want to hold this microphone, you can, but we also have stands which you'll usually be able to find over there in the corner. Great, so you just jammed, had a great session. Go ahead, when you're done, put the guitar back on the wall. If you brought your own guitar, just unplug that quarter-inch cable, plug it back into the guitar here that's labeled for Guitar 1. Same would go for the other stations. If you're playing drums, just go ahead and turn that power button off. The next thing you want to do, and this is pretty important, is actually go back to the iPad for the mixer over here, and you're going to want to log out. Right there. Confirm the log out, and you're good to go. And this should be what you see here. The iPad disconnected to the mixer for now. Put that stylus back down, and now you can start turning power off. So you go back to the power cable over here, or pardon me, the power strip. Go ahead and turn that off. Go to the power strip over here if you need it as well. Turn that one off. And then last but not least, the receiver and headphones that you have, you're gonna go ahead and you're gonna return them to the station over here where you found them. You go ahead, hang them up. Don't forget to turn the power off. When all the lights are off, it is off. And then, just that campsite rule, go ahead and plug the power back, or go ahead and plug the power cable back into the receiver to charge it for the next person. And you're good to go. Awesome. Hope it was a great time, and hope you guys come back and do this a lot.